Greetings YouTube and welcome to the Blue Corner. So, Order of Chaos is now come and gone, new decks are out, current decks have got new cards, and as a result we're now heading into the fun time, which is the weeks leading up to the ban list. Oh boy. So, we're probably going to find out what's going to get hit within the next couple weeks. I predict probably the week of Valentine's Day or the week afterwards we'll know what gets hit or not. And hopefully before then I will do a discussion video that talks about what I think should be done with the ban list. I might even do a video that just talks about this format as a whole and how it went from promising to complete and utter bullshit. However, that's all for later. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys an update to my standard disaster and how it is looking following the release of Order of Chaos. I'm currently running a Totem Dragon based build as I just find it to be superior to the anti-meta version. I can run the anti-meta version though, you guys know that. I have the Maxis, I have the Thunder Kings and Effect Veilers. I got all that stuff, but I just like how flexible a Totem Dragon build has, and it's just better adept at handling various game states, whereas anti-meta disaster is pretty much all in on the control, but if it's not actually doing the control that it wants to do, it kind of falls apart. That's just my 2 cents on it. I'll go to like a bigger debate on it maybe in a future video, but yeah, here's what it is. Recently went to locals with this, got first place, and while you can say, oh, it's just the locals, my locals are very hard to top in. You have to win every single match. You can't afford to lose a single one, otherwise you just won't get to top 4 in finals. So, and I also faced wind-up Inzektors in the final, and my god do I not like that deck. I really do not like decks that force me to sit there and twiddle my thumbs while they proceed to combo out. It's kind of like going up against a Quasar deck on Dueling Network, where they just sit there and do shenanigans for 5 to 10 minutes, and you're sitting there thinking, why the hell am I still here? I could just quit this duel, go make a request to host another duel, and someone will be like, have fun, good luck. So, yeah. I did beat it though, which pleases me immensely. But that was partly due to some parts of my side deck doing what they were supposed to do. Ooh, chain disappearance on an Inzektor Dragonfly. That hurt a lot. So, right now I'm running 3 Darkness Metal Dragons, 1 Lad. Took this down from the 2 because Divine Dragon Aporcalyph just basically keeps this guy in my hand a whole lot of the time. I can dump him in Future Fusion, put him back in my hand. There are the times where I'll open with it and I can just simply fetch out a totem. All in all, Lad is an amazing monster. So many times does he hit the field and the opponent's like, oh shit, what the hell do I do now? Because they gotta burn 4 card effects just to get rid of him. Even Plant Synchro, they lose a Tengu Search, they lose a spell card or another spell card or a monster effect. Lad just creates a kind of pressure that you don't get out of a lot of cards. It's kind of like how this guy, when he hits the field, your opponent, depending on their deck, is like, well shit, I can't summon anything, because Koa'ki Drago says no to light and dark special summons. 3 is my choice right now. I could take 1 out because with the amounts of monster hate running around, this guy is just easily killed. But it's just, right now, I just happen to like 3. A lot of decks I face happen to be light and dark based, so Drago comes out, he sits there, and he just proceeds to troll face. 3 Wyvern. This is also a personal choice. People don't really like to have this guy at 3 because they're like, well, he's a dead draw, you never want to draw him, but of all the cards you could potentially bad draw, an 1800 attack beat stick that you can normal summon is actually pretty high up there for things I would prefer to top deck. So, yeah, Wyvern, he's a very good attacker. Much like Koa'ki Drago, he helps you get over those Reborn Tengus. And unlike Koa'ki Drago, when he's out in the field, you can make Red Dragon Archfiend, you can make Ancient Fairy Dragon. He's one of your means to accessing those light and dark level 7s and 8s, and for that I like him. Furthermore, extra copies in your hand, you can pitch him with Divine Dragon Aporcalyph and get back something from your graveyard like Lad or Darkness Metal. 3 Mass Dragon, and yeah, this card is still pretty good, although with the amounts of monster hate going around, you could get away with 2, and I can see why. But yeah, right now, just like what this guy does, pulls out so much stuff in my deck. DDA. This card alone is better than anything that is being released in Dragons Collide. Hell, this could have been the super rare in that deck, and I would have bought two 2 of them just so I can get my hands on 2 of this, but he's a common in Order of Chaos, and I approve of this. There. That was a terrible thumbs up, but yeah, this guy's pretty fun. Gets back Red-Eyes, gets back Lad, makes Dark End Dragon 1500 defense, may not see much, but he actually does wall a bit against those early game guys. Like your opponent summons a 1400 attack floater, they're thinking that, well, whatever, if he dies, whatever, but you summon a Divine Dragon Apocalypse, and they can't run over it with that floater. And then you make Dark End Dragon and send that Mystic Tomato to the graveyard. It's fun stuff. Hey, kitty. So, yeah. Divine Dragon Apocalypse puts in a ton of work. And so did this guy. Just makes Synchros and Exodias out the rear. Obvious combo with Totem Dragon. Fun stuff with Divine Dragon. Yeah, Delta Flyer was pretty nice. Just one Exploder Dragon, aka the boss killer. Gets rid of those things where Darkness Metal Dragon can't by battle. You wonder why I don't run Solidarity? Because this guy kills the same things that you would use Solidarity plus Darkness Metal Dragon for. Plus, he happens to be a much better card to draw than Solidarity. One Totem. Since I'm running just the one Lad, I figured taking my totems down to 1 would be just enough, and I actually did not miss the second totem at all. I rarely actually used Totem Dragon's effect. It was only in like clutch situations, which is what Totem Dragon's really good supposed to be for. It's useful in those clutch situations, or when you want to make a Leviathan Dragon with this guy, or Levier. I did that too. But yeah, thanks to Divine Dragon Apocalypse, you don't need 2 Totem Dragons to effectively spam Lad. And that's it for the monsters. It's 19. I've always liked 19 monster count decks when it comes to control, and yeah, I'm rather pleased with this lineup. For the spells, 2 Gold Sarks. This is arguably the best time to actually run this card, because any dead copies you draw mid to late game can be discarded with Divine Dragon, and then you can get back a Darkness Metal Dragon and proceed to go from there. Thanks to this card and Pot of Duality, I was getting my hands on Future Fusion by turn 4 or 5 in almost every match. It was very good. And Thunder King Ryo does not stop this, so yeah, Gold Sark was pretty fun. Double MST, fairly obvious. Pot of Duality. I'm really liking the 2 Sark, 2 Duality combination. What Gold Sark doesn't immediately get, Pot of Duality can, or what Pot of Duality doesn't get me, Gold Sark can. These 2 just happen to work very nicely together. And yes, shutting off your special summoning hurts, but you don't play Pot of Duality if you think you have a special summon play in mind. You wait until main phase 2, and if your Koa'ki Drago did not get killed by Mirror Force, and you didn't have to special summon it back with Darkness Metal Dragon, or you didn't have to use your Stardust Dragon's effect, then you play Pot of Duality. It's much like running this card in Dragoon. You wait until you absolutely don't have to. You wait until you absolutely have to play the Duality, or yeah. So long story short, Duality is good in Dragons. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Then you got your 5 moves of Doom: Shoulder Block, Scoop Slam, 5 Knuckle Shuffle, Attitude Adjustment. I mean, what? Also, I'm going to be really pissed if it actually ends up being God versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. 3 Fiendish Chain. This card is so good. Although, I admit, he's probably not worth $50, but yeah, this card put in work all day at locals, and it stopped the wind-up loop cold by Fiendish Chain, the wind-up Zenmighty. He couldn't do very much after that. And between Disruption cards and Koa'ki Drago, I stopped the wind-up loop for quite well in games 1 and 3. Speaking of Disruption, this card, Compulsory Evacuation Device, is really nice at this moment. Bouncing shit back, breaking apart combos, saving your guys, and even against Inzektors, it's a neg 1 if you bounce back the Hornet or the Centipede or the Dragonfly, but seeing how if you don't bounce that thing back, they're going to go +4 on you, I'll take the neg 1 over them going +4. And yeah, Compulse it wins games. It really does. Solemn Brigade, TT, and Dustshoot. So, overall, a fairly standard Disaster Dragon lineup with some slight differences. Oh, a very solid list. You can run something like this and make some changes in card choices depending on what you have and don't have. If you don't have Fiendish Chain, Then you could run more chainable cards such as somewhat chainable cards such as Bottomless and Prisons, but Fiendish Chain is just so much better than those cards. I'd rather just side deck them. In fact, I'm pretty sure Bottomless is in my side. I'll show you my side actually, how it's looking right now, and changes I would make. But first, my extra deck. 1 5-headed dragon. Yes, I actually have an Aurica of this. I rarely use it though. 1 Trishy Derp, Stardust, Scrap Dragon, manliest card in the entire game, Dark End Dragon. This card can be made easily now, and Dark End Dragon is amazing. It's a +1 every turn and whatnot. You ask, why would you ever use Dark End Dragon as opposed to Scrap Dragon? Because there are times where you don't want to blow up your cards just to get rid of that problem monster. Dark End Dragon can just get that set Raikou that you're reading without giving up any card advantage, and that can win you games at times. 1 Black Winged Dragon, because I hate Chain Burn and bad reaction and such forth. Explode Dragon Wing to kill the walls, Black Rose to reset the field, Ancient Fairy to pop field spells, and she's a 3000 defense ass, and 3000 defense is actually pretty infuriating for people to get around. Iron Chain Dragon, because decks hate milling now. Orient, Brionac, Leviathan, and Levier, because there are times where your Wyverns and your Koa'ki Dragos will get removed from the game, and Levier pulls them back. You only got the 1 totem, so hell, if you have already used that Totem Dragon's effect once, then your Levier, you don't have to worry about making your graveyard like not all dragons and such forth. So yeah, fairly straightforward extra deck. I do want to change 1 card out though for Koa'ki Dragon when we get him in a couple months, and very likely it's probably going to be Black Winged Dragon. Now, current side deck. 3 Rivalry of Warlords. This card is still very good. In addition to what it does against decks like Plant Synchro, Lightshorn, and Dino Rabbit, think about what this does to windups for a moment. Their main card is a machine type Xyz monster. However, Windup Hunter happens to be a Beast Warrior. This kinda shuts down a lot of the Windup deck's plays because Windups have no machine monsters in their main deck. It's all their Xyz are machines, but that's about it. So if you flip this up to a Windup Zen Mighty Summon or his effect, it fizzles out because they have no searchable targets in the deck for it. And once this is on the field, they can't summon anything other machine type monsters, which allows you to just start doing your stuff and proceeding to go from there. Furthermore, Windup Hunter happens to be a dark type monster, so if you've got Koa'ki Drago out and they make Windup Zen Mighty, they can't pull Hunter out from the deck, and they can't summon Hunter from the graveyard with Rat. But back to this card. This card wins games. It really does. Have this with Stardust Dragon against Windups or Plant Synchro, and it really hurts. Black Horn of Heaven, never got a chance to use it, but it is a very good card. Bottomless Trap Hole for the Dino Rabbit matchup and for like anti-meta stun stuff. Chain Disappearance. Oh boy, this card. You hit the Inzektor Dragonfly with this, and they cry. You hit Tour Guide. You hit so many of those power cards that have just no attack. Yeah. Chain Disappearance says, what's up? Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Already went over why this card's good in my tech and side decking video. Double Smashing. I figure I had space in my side deck. Smashing Ground's always a good card to run your side, but I never used it once. So I'm probably going to take this out, but I don't know for what. Maybe Maxi. 3rd MST. And Prime Material Dragon for those destruction heavy matchups. I did side him in a couple times, but by the time I actually got to him, I already had a firm control of the duel on already, so. But I was prepared in case things went bad. Kinda sucked that I drew it though instead of future fusioning it. But anyway, that is my Disaster Dragon and how it is looking at this point in the game. Thank you guys for watching, and until the next time, take care.